Checking to see if we've gone live.
I think so.
Any minute, I'm sure.
Although my
Do you see it?
I see it.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, folks. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Halo, the shampoo that glorifies your hair.
Is that an East Coast thing? I've never heard of that one.
No, it's an old. There used to be a shampoo called Halo shampoo in the 50s. And there was an old radio. There was a commercial that would come on. Halo, halo, everybody. Halo. Halo, the shampoo that glorifies your hair. And every time I say Halo, I sing that little song.
Okay, we're old, but we're not that old, Scott. So we're not using shampoo from the 50s.
I think in the other life I'm that old. I think in my last life, whatever. There he is. There's Patrick. Hello.
Hello. It is a Monday night. We are ready to roll on our Unbreakable sale. Thanks everybody for joining us. Got a bunch of people in the chat already. Z Poodle, KP, Randy, Cheryl, Carmen. Everybody's hello. Let everyone find us for the evening. It's nice that you still have a schedule. Like Monday nights, I know if I've got time, I can hop onto your channel. Something will be going on.
Almost every Monday night, there's
I've fallen out of the habit. So first of all, YouTube hates me. So basically none of my videos get in the algorithms anymore. And people don't find anything I'm doing. So but it's always good to have that stability. Well, maybe get back into it.
I'm going to, since you mentioned that, I'm going to continue the tradition of the two chaps live sale, the second Monday of every night. I'll have to have a facsimile of David, a little cutout of his little head right next to me. Maybe I can make a puppet. Maybe somebody can make me a David sock puppet.
Okay, you ask, I bet you'll receive.
I will
I'm sure you've got some talented viewers that can do that.
I'm telling you, somebody is running around looking for their pinking shears right now.
You got your moderators I see in the chat. Jeffrey and Joe are there, so great. Thanks for having some moderators tonight.
Hi.
Keep everybody in line.
Yeah, we don't want anybody being nasty.
That's our job.
That's Miss Janet. No, Miss Janet, if you're nasty. Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson, yeah. Some new names to me as well. So hey, got a good turnout. So how's your day been today, Scott?
It's been relaxing. Well, actually, it has not been relaxing. This is probably the most relaxing part of my day today. But all is well. And yourself? You put in a full day's work?
Yeah, full day's work. But not too bad. It's a Monday, so I will actually give a little bit of a preface. I've even forgot to tell you. So knock wood, my computer's holding out. They're shipping me a new one. If I disappear somewhere during this show, I will join on again with my phone. So if all of a sudden you just don't see me, it's my computer decided to crash, which is doing a couple times a day lately. But so far so good. Knock on wood. But yeah, so that's what my day is looking like. I'll be in the middle of an email, crash. I'll be in the middle of a Zoom call, crash. It's just, keeps you on your toes. So you just never know what's going to happen.
Well, I'll plow forward if it crashes, and we'll see.
Your channel, your host, and you can control everything. So, but I'll join you as soon as I can, if that is unfortunately happens.
Well, if you're new to this weird thing that's happening right now, it's called the Unbreakables. And Patrick came up with this wonderful idea about 4 or 5 months ago. And I guess we've been doing this now the fourth Monday of each month. Now, we got an extra Monday.
I was like, this one seemed early. I'm like, wait a minute. Why was it only the 22nd?
Well, it's the 4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have another Monday. And I have not yet decided. I'll let you know this week if I'm going to pop on and do something on that extra Monday night. Maybe not. I'll let you know this week. But
Get a
we do
night
this.
off.
We call it the Unbreakables because we pretty much sell anything except glass and pottery.
You sell enough of that on your own. And actually, I don't sell as much as I used to, but that's how I started this business. And I still love it. I love your glass. I love your pottery. Love what I sell. I hate shipping it. And so as I've struggled to keep active with YouTube and doing the sales and my eBay channel, I have leaned toward a lot of ephemera and a lot of things that are easy to ship. It's not that I necessarily love the Unbreakables more than the Breakables. It's just, hey, if somebody wants to order something, it's a lot easier for me to shove a piece of paper in an envelope than it is to find 5 pounds worth of packing bubbles to try and ship a case of champagne flutes. So.
Well, now on to a little bit of unpleasantness, but we'll get through this very quickly. Patrick and I were both ghosted. I know you were, but I didn't tell you that I was too. That's okay. Things happen. But we will say this. If you're new and you buy something, we're going to need you to send us your information while we're broadcasting, right? Yep, you've got yours there, and I didn't put mine there, but I'll throw it up there. And so that we can make sure we get connected, because if you buy something and we don't hear from you, then we have to turn around and try to sell it again some other time. So if you're new tonight, email us while we're in the middle of the sale. Maybe we can check it during intermission or check it, because if we don't hear from you by the time the auction is over, we just may have to resell that item. So, and that's just we're good with that, right, Patrick? So we don't get ghosted.
Yep. And Jeffrey just put your email address and my email address again in the chat. So
thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
And ghosting is not something that someone necessarily does on purpose. They may think that they have written to me, but they didn't put the 99 in my email. And so I never hear from them, and they get annoyed because they never hear from me, but they didn't put my email in right. That kind of thing happens. It might happen on purpose. I kind of don't think that it happens on purpose. I think people just make a mistake when they're typing, or I don't know, the dishwasher overflows in the middle of the sale and they completely forget. And so we're not mad at anybody if you ghosted us, but we're trying to run a business.
I won't tell you that I have a voodoo doll of them in my drawer. But
oh, you do? You stick pins? The voodoo doll, the little.
And one more pin. Now it is one of the cases. I don't think that people do it maliciously. I think in some cases they get they get caught up in the excitement. They're like, we hope people join us to have fun, and they're like, "Ooh, I could get this, and I'm going to participate." But then it's also you're taking it away from somebody else, and so sometimes I will mark, maybe if it's somebody new, I'll mark who the underbidder was, so I'll just go to that person. We try and do the best we can to just make everybody happy. It just causes a lot of extra work. So if you can help us out, appreciate everyone who buys, and we appreciate those who don't. If you're just hanging out in the chat, even if you're not typing in the chat, just hello, everybody. So all good. But yes, if you do buy something, that is something we would ask you to do. So my email's here. Watch the chat from Jeffrey. He's really good about posting the emails so that everyone knows where they are. And we will check to make sure we know who the people are. And I'm shipping from Chicago. For those of you who have not joined a sale with me on here before, I appreciate Scott hosting. I ship from Chicago. We can't combine because, of course, Scott is shipping from outside Philadelphia. We do both use pirate ship to try and do the best we can for shipping costs. I do invoice via PayPal, but you don't have to have a PayPal account to do it. We both do the same thing. Pretty much the same spiel, whatever, but every once in a while, and including the last sale, somebody said, wait, I've never been here before. What do I do? There's your crash course. But if you have questions as you go through, moderators can help answer during the chat, and everyone's super helpful in the chat. They can help you. Just as somebody already put in there, I apologize, I don't remember who it did because I don't have my glasses on. But somebody said, just make sure you're in the live chat and all messages instead of top chat. You'll get a slightly better feel for what is going on, so things are not being edited out. And refresh often if you are particularly if you're trying to purchase something.
And it's also helpful. I know you love chatting with each other, but remember, this really isn't a chat board. Now, don't take me the wrong way. It is helpful if we focus the chat on what's being bought and sold, because, right, Patrick, we have people that ask questions, and we want the chat really to be about the items. That way we can see who's bidding, and we can see if there's questions about measurements. And doesn't mean you can't talk to each other, but if you'll help keep the focus on the items that are for sale, that really helps the buyers and the sellers to make sure we're not missing anything. I hope I said that, the best way possible to keep the focus on the buying and the selling tonight. And
okay, no, we're not telling KP, we're not telling everyone to behave. We like misbehaving as well, but in a controlled environment. So
just remember why we're here. Yeah. So we don't get into a lot of.
We're here to have fun, but we're also here to sell.
And then also, if you'll let Patrick and I put in the starts and the stops, and please let us call the winner before you do, so we don't have any confusion. Because sometimes that causes confusion. So with the lag and everything, we don't want anybody to be disappointed. It's all not about making rules. It's about trying to keep it and get it to run as smoothly as possible so that you have a good buying experience. Because this is a sale. Don't you love a sale?
We all love a sale. And we hope you guys, the 180 people that are here, we hope you guys love a sale too. So let's go ahead and get things started. We'll start off with something fun.
You're starting right now. So you
all right.
Solo.
So one of the sale, the last one or the one before, we actually did kind of just had a conversation and ended up in the chat what people were hoping we would bring or what you're looking for. And one of the requests was cookbooks. So I'm bringing some cookbooks. So starting these, you get all 5 of these for one price, and it will be a starting bid if Scott can put it in, a bid starting of $10. And it's $10 to get all 5 of these cookbooks. Now, I did skip through them really quickly. 1975.
Yeah, I'm putting it in. Hold on. Okay. The 10.
1975 is the 250 potato recipes. 1945 is the recipes for good eating from Crisco. 1940 is 200 delectable desserts. 1951 is what makes jelly gel, and that is the Sure Gel gelatin, not Jello. So this is but it is a gelatin. And then this one I couldn't find a date on it, but it is a 2-digit or a single-digit zip code, which means it is prior to 1963. So it's between World War II and 1963. So those are the dates, and they are. Again, you get all 5. So we've got the kitchen, the one from our lifetime of Scott's and my lifetime. We grew up with this stuff. 250 potato recipes. Let's get all your starches in there.
Yeah, hold on. Let me take that stop out of there. That wasn't going. I'll take it out.
All right. Pigs and taters, pigs and blankets. Okay, Brabant potatoes. I don't know what those are.
Ooh.
Potatoes on the hash shell. Potato and lime bean loaf. That sounds absolutely repulsive. But you got plenty of potato recipes in there. The wine cookbook I thought was kind of interesting. The back of it talks about the annual wine festival, October 6th to 22nd. But again, not a year, so I'm not sure. But this was from the Chicago area where I'm based. And it's a lot of just a mixed, some French recipes, but you also have hamburgers or hamburgundies. It's just a mix. So you've got soup, seafoods, meats, chicken and game, salads, vegetables. The jelly, this one was actually a surprise to me because it's older than I had anticipated. So the 250 delectable desserts, I guess that looks like a Little Debbie roll, wrapped on the outside of a meatloaf. So and with potatoes on top. So I don't know what that is, but it is. Yeah. Oh, mayonnaise.
Congealed mayonnaise.
So this was the 1941. This is Culinary Arts Institute. A lot of the recipes on these black and white. I mean, look at that. The idea is to individually mark your guest plates. You really hope you don't have somebody's name like Francois, like how much Cool Whip do you have to use to pipe that out? But if you invite people with names like Bob and Tom and Ann, here's this great idea. So you can have a dinner party of people with 3-letter names. Everything's illustrated, traditional format, and then the wartime era of the Crisco This one actually does have some color photographs in it, but all desserts. Don't want to spend a lot of time. There were a lot to show, but so all 5 of them. I do have an opening bid, so we're going to go and start counting it down. Thanks to Lori for starting it out at $10. We're going to start counting it down at 10, 9, and again, you get all 5 of these. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I will close that out. We will watch for the lag so Scott can put stop into the chat and see what the cookbooks end up going for and make sure they go to a good home. So I see the stop. I only saw the one vote or the one bid. So these are $10 going to Lori Perry.
Yay.
So thank you, Lori, for picking those up. I hope you enjoy, and I'm happy to get these out of my office.
Well, we'll keep the ball rolling with another cookbook. Look how deco. Oh my gosh. So you see the tea kettle? Look at that steam coming up. When you see that kind of a design, you know that we're sometime after 1925. And this was published in 1930. And it's an $8 start on this green cookbook, green and black. It says the new Delineator recipes. And I think, although I'm not sure, somebody check on it. I think the new Delineator was a magazine. It might have been some type of a literary magazine.
I have a copy of the Delineator sitting right next to me right now.
Oh, great. Can you sell it? It's a magazine. You're going to sell it tonight?
I'm not selling it tonight. I just have it because somebody already bought it. I have to ship it.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
But yes, it is. I'm answering your question. It is a magazine. And my issues from 1910.
Thank you. This was published in 1930. So they were working on it in 1929, right? So we know the stock market didn't crash until October of 1929, and this was published in 1930. So my guess is this got nothing to do with Depression era, because the stock market really hadn't crashed when they were researching this book to be published sometime in 1930. But anyway, they're all in there. I don't know how many pages it is. Well, I guess I just look at it. It's 222 pages. And of course, there's plenty of Jell-O, and there's just plenty of everything. I won't really tell you. I guess it's just a general.
And it's hardcover?
It is a hardcover.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love the steam, the deco steam coming up out of the tea kettle. And just everything is in here. Appetizers, soups, garnishes, fish, meat, poultry, game, stuffing, sauce, vegetarian, egg, cheese, salad, cookies, cakes, candies, fruits, gelatin, puddings, ice creams, pastries, beverages, casseroles, cooking for two, cooking at the table. Now that I love. Let's look at page 204 really fast, because cooking at
Florida Golden Girl is asking how tight the binding is.
Thank you for that question, and I'm glad that you saw that, Patrick. It's not falling apart, but it's a cookbook, so you know how cookbooks get flipped around in kitchens. It is not. Nothing is falling out of it. I guess on a scale of 1 to 10 for cookbook, I'd say not too bad, but I don't really know. I guess tight enough to be used in a.
All the pages are attached, so I think that's what's important.
Yeah, they're all there. So good question. I hope that I answer it well enough. It can sit flat and used in the kitchen. Anyway, we'll count it down, but quickly before I do that, there's a whole section in here on cooking at the table. And you often see me selling these beautiful chrome appliances. Look, there they are right there. I've had my eye on one of these, and it's way too expensive. I would love to get one. I think Edison Electric put it out, but it's got little griddles, and you can do everything right at the table, and the percolator and all that stuff, because it was acceptable for the mother to cook everything right at the table, especially for breakfast. That was a big breakfast thing. Okay, the cookbook is $8, and there is a bid. You said, so we'll count it down. Ready?
Carbon's in there at $9.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That made it really easy all right. Thank you. I guess Patrick.
All right, just watch the stop. I just watched you count down. So there was the lag, and it looks like Florida Golden Girl came in right at the end, right before the stop at $10.
Okay. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who bid. Let's now go back to the double layout, and there's Patrick.
And this was the Delineator I was talking about. I was quickly going through it. Somebody asked if there were recipes in the Delineator. I didn't find any, but there's some great art. Unfortunately, this is already sold, but cool. So the Delineator cookbook is going to a Florida Golden Girl. All right. So when the sale started as Unbreakables, it started as primarily ephemera, but then we realized that was pretty restrictive, and not everyone is into his ephemera as Scott and I were. So we realized, hey, let's just deal with stuff that's unbreakable, and it's kind of lets us do some fun stuff. And tonight we have Christmas in July, and if we've got anybody named Joyce and Ken, this is your night. So this is a $10 start for a pair of homemade stockings. So we've got, I would say, I don't know, we've got 50s, maybe 60s, based on the style, with the Santa knitted in there. You can see the dimensionality of the beard and the hair on the Santas. It is stitched in. Joyce and Ken are stitched into the collar, I guess you'd say. If somebody's a really skilled knitter, crocheter, I don't know the difference, you might be able to pick that out and replace it, or just like make a band that covers it up and put somebody else's name. Or, hey, who's to say you don't want to just honor Joyce and Ken and continue a tradition and say, hey, you got instant relatives. When you pick up old photographs, you can have instant stocking relatives. And these are some long lost relative of their very kitschy Ken and Joyce stockings. Totally functional. They both have, this one has no jingle bells on it because, Ken is not a jingly kind of guy, but Joyce made up for it and got 2 jingle bells on the top and a little jingle bell at the very bottom.
Joyce has a very nice beard.
There you go. She got, self-portraits. And Joyce does not seem very happy, maybe because she has a beard, because that does not look a smile. That looks like very much of a grimace, where Ken's Santa seems to have a little smirk on his face.
Joyce is mad. So
we've got, and then as somebody must be Philip, I think is actually into textiles and knitting, said that the toes are turned well. I would not have come up with that phrase on my own, but now that I look at them, they are kind of done kind of niftily. There's some stitching done in there.
Did you show the backs?
And they are in beautiful condition. So the back has one ornament stitched into the back. Similar, but slightly different. A little bit more detail on the back of Joyce's. She's got a little bit more decorative piece at the bottom than Ken did. And so you've got green, red, and white Christmas stocking. So kitschy decor. I don't see any bids on this, so I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. And if somebody wants me to bring them back later, I will do so. So I will pass it over to you, Scott.
Right, I put the stop in there just to officially let you know that we have closed out on that. And if there's time, we'll come back on. Well, there will be time to come back on this at the end. Okay. I liked those. I like those a lot. I guess while we're looking at cookbooks, and while we're in the kitchen, I haven't really been firing up my stove that much with all of this heat, but cookie baking season is not too far off for those of us who like to do fall baking. And so on this cookie maker, we'll start off at $10, and I'll open it up and show it to you. Probably from judging on the box, it's probably from the 1960s.
I don't think you'd market it with that name anymore.
Cookie gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even think you want to say it out loud if we don't want to get demonetized on your channel.
Trigger quick.
It
So we'll
was
just
a
say,
different era.
we'll say cookie gum
There you go.
And we'll say cookie gum. And of course, everybody wants to see if the business part is there. There's the box. And here are the innards. That's the one side of the inside of the box. And of course, Granny saved. Well, let me just quickly let you see. It's in there. So I don't know how often Granny used it or Grandpa used it, but there's the cookie gum. We're not saying that other word. With all the little, and this one, get out of there. Come on, you slid in there. Well, they're there. Okay, they're there. See them?
Cookie press. That's the term I remember. Cookie press.
Doesn't look like we're missing anything.
No, that looks complete. Wow, I haven't seen a complete one in ages. Oh,
So
timber.
made of aluminum. Yeah. Go waving this thing around. You'll get to the front of the line at the Aldi very quickly. You walk in there with that. And then, oh my word, some little, you think we could still send that in and let them know that we're satisfied with our purchase? And look.
Allie has a $10 bid in for you.
Look.
Look at those. Oh, I like how they put the shape of the cookie next to the mold, because some of those, I don't know what would have come out.
Yeah. Like the heart, I'm thinking, okay, a big Y comes out.
Absolutely. That low, and the one in the lower left, the green thing, I wouldn't have known what that would have been. Like all those lines. How does that make a cookie?
Oh, okay. Yeah, all those looks like a heater vent. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Yes, guys, delicious heater vent cookie.
Everyone needs one of those.
Yeah, of course.
What says Christmas more than a heater vent cookie?
The question is, does it have a cookie recipe included? It sure enough do. Look at the back.
Look at that. I wonder if you could buy the big tube of cookie dough that they sell in the stores now.
Just shove it in there.
That's my kind of cooking.
Well, you can have sand tarts, spritz cookies, chocolate cookies, cream cheese, black walnut, cheese straws, and peanut crinkles. Okay, and it's all there in this little booklet. And Virginia Lee. Oh, it's Philadelphia. Look at that. So it's a Yankee cookie maker. We'll count this bad boy down and put the lid back on it. But as you can see, it's clean. It doesn't have a bunch of nasty old, kitchen cookie stuff all over it. Ready? You said there is a bid, Pat?
There is a bid.
10. Any questions? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. I'm looking forward to. I didn't have an oven last autumn season, so boy, I'm gonna be cooking. I'm gonna be in there enjoying my oven.
I just saw the stop, or I just saw your countdown, so I just put in the stop, and looks like the winner will be Allie Monty for $10. Thanks, Allie, for bidding.
Thank you, Allie. And you've got lots of nice restaurant wear on top of which you can eat that. That was all grammatically incorrect, but she knows it.
Excellent.
Allie, before you make sure that I know that I have your correct mailing address. I know that I do, but will you shoot me an email because I don't want it to go to the wrong place?
Good point. All right, so I'm going to start my next one. We're going bouncing back to some ephemera. And we're going to do all three of these as one lot. We've got 3 Life magazines from the 1960s and 1970s. We're looking for our 1962 babies, our 1970 babies, that's me, and our 1969 babies. Starting bid is $10. So we get all those. And we're going to throw a trivia question into here.
Ooh.
When did Life magazine first start publishing? I was unaware how early it was.
Mm-hmm.
I will explain why later, but I will start with this so everyone can Google really quick or just think or put their guesses in without Googling. But the issues we've got October 19th, 1962. And as all good Life magazines from the 60s have, we've got Newport cigarettes on the ads on the back. Mr. Joji Town said 1958 or said 38. It's actually earlier than that. Scott said 34. It's earlier than 34. These are the large format. They did change sizes multiple times. And actually, even in this window, which was really kind of weird, the two that are in the 60s are just teensy bit bigger than the one from the 70s. So I'll put the one in the 70s in the front. So you can kind of see, even in 1970, they shrunk by like, I don't know, what is that, quarter of an inch? All right, so we've got a 23, a 25, and a 26. It's earlier than any of those. It is earlier than 1923, which Lisa said. Mo says 22. It's earlier than 1922. And the one that I have an earlier than this is not part of the lot. That's actually even smaller. So they went small, they went big, they went small, they went big. Who knows? Maybe paper was getting more expensive. The 70 issue has a really cool thing on the front because this was the 50th anniversary of women getting the right to vote. And I don't know, I felt like this was somewhat appropriate to share right now. So 50 years ago, women got the right to vote. And that was the cover of their magazine in October of 1920. Just look at the artwork, back then. And of course, a cigarette ad on the back. KP is guessing 1915 is earlier than that, but it is later than 1746, Jeffrey. Life magazine did come after the creation of our country. But they all have, even the 60s, we got art, color advertisements as well as black and white advertisements. Lots of alcohol, lots of cover, articles. This one, Alka-Seltzer has a full page ad in black and white. KP is closest with 1890. It's actually earlier than that, but she's getting closer. Love to see what the refrigerators looked like in 1970. And I will say everyone else had the avocado green, the harvest gold. I don't actually remember white. Ours wasn't even, ours is that horrible brown one. That's what I grew up with. That I don't even know what that horrible color was called, but it was like a rust color. And yes, that is what a kitchen looked like. And it was a side-by-side refrigerator just like that. That horrible brown. That's what I grew up with. Does it give the colors down at the bottom? Because now I'm curious. No, it does not name the colors. But yes, those were the colors of refrigerators. And when people say, oh, boho, let's all recreate the 70s. No, stop it. Don't. Once was enough. Copper tone. That sounds right. And we had a couple of guesses that got really close. The answer for the Life magazine is 1883 was the first issue of Life magazine. So for this one, again, you're getting one issue for 1970, the October 1962, and September 1969, which has Coretta Scott King on the front. And shockingly enough, not a cigarette ad on the back because the back cover appears to be missing. So be forewarned, back cover does appear to be off. Anyways, great photography. It's Life magazine. These are just fun to just sit back and read. I do not. So a lot of guesses come in on the dates, but I don't think I saw any bids.
I was just rewinding to see if I
I'm scrolling really, really quick just because I don't want to waste any more time on it. I don't see any bids, so we're just going to go ahead and stop it and put those away. If anyone would like them, I can bring them up later. So that is stopped. That is closed. But I will now show you what was going to be in the sale tonight. The 1903 issue of Life magazine that I have. So this was going to be in the sale, and believe it or not, Raj stopped me from selling it because there is specifically something in here that Scott will appreciate.
Oh,
there is a comic in here that says A Jersey Conception.
Ah,
someday a giant mosquito will come along and ... Do you know why in the 1903 issue of Life magazine we are talking about mosquitoes in New Jersey?
In 1903?
1903. There's a very specific reason, and Raj knew the reason.
Is it specifically something about Jersey?
Yes. It is very specific to New Jersey.
I don't know. I mean, my family was here. I know about the shark attacks, what year that happened, and the influenza, and I don't know what happened in Jersey in 1903 that had to do with mosquitoes. What was it?
In 1903, New Jersey was the first state to create a mosquito control district. And they did that as a response to, in 1902, the Nobel Prize for Science went to a scientist who discovered, an entomologist that discovered that malaria was carried by mosquitoes. So it was New Jersey who took that information and says, we need to stop mosquitoes. We need to control mosquitoes in New Jersey. And the rest of the world made fun of them because no one thought mosquito control was a big deal. So that's your factoid for the day. New Jersey was the very first state to create a mosquito control district funded by the state. And they did it in 1903, and Life magazine made fun of them for it.
Fantastic.
And that is why Raj will not let me sell it, because he wants that. So, because Raj is also from New Jersey, so he wants the Jersey connection.
All I want you to do is snap a picture of that big mosquito that's biting New Jersey. You can send that to me, Patrick.
I will absolutely do that for you. All right, so back to you, Scott.
Okay. Thank you for that information. I love it. Look what's next. It's a little box here, and what do you think is inside of this little box? Well, this little 1930s box, which has some deco characters on it, is $6. It's a little cardboard box. I'll let you see that side and the bottom of it. And I guess I'll let you see the top. It says Chucker. I don't know who Chucker is, but they're two decks.
There's a segment of polo.
Is that what the polo is? That
I think it's like what a quarter is called in polo. It's called a chucker.
The stick?
No, the segment, like the part of the game, like before the break, it's called a chucker.
Well, I'll tell you what. You've got two decks of playing cards, and I counted them. So there's 52 on both sides. What's that? 104 altogether.
Good job.
Thank you. So this side, the cards, and they have that wonderful silver metallic that you saw in a lot of magazines in the 30s. I love that silver metallic. So that's what that set of cards looks like.
Jackie's starting you at $6 with a Hulk emoji, I believe.
And that side, the cards look like that. But they're all, as I said, I did count them, and they're all in there. So if you're a card player and you like old things and you like the 30s, there you go. You get two decks of them. I'll put the lid back on. Something else printed on the bottom. The United States Playing Card Company, somewhere, USA. But you'll have to look that up because I can't see it to tell you where it was. But I like the colors and the deco design of the little box. We're going to count these down. Here we go. 10, 9. There is an opening bid of $6. Thank you, Jacqueline's Heirloom. She's going to be using her mixing bowl to make cookies pretty soon. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Who gets them? Who gets them? Who gets them? We'll let Patrick tell us.
All right. So the countdown got to the stop. And looks like back in the day finds, Dr. Robert jumped in and doubled the price. He got it for $12.
Back in the day finds. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone who placed bids back in the day. And thank you for your bid, Jacqueline. I'll see if I can find another set for you. Patrick, solo.
All right. So we are jumping into a little bit of jewelry, but we're on Scott's channel. So we're doing something weird and something fun. And we're at a $5 start.
Wait,
So
was that shade? Was that some shade, Patrick?
no, I'm giving you a compliment. But
I'm proud.
always having fun on Scott's channel.
I'm proud to be fun and weird.
Fun and weird. There's pride in fun and weird. What we have it innocent enough. We've got a chain with an initial of M. So if anyone has an M initial, this again, it's $5 start. You get this entire lot of jewelry. But M stands for.
I'm sorry. What's the start?
$5.
Okay, Jeffrey, I can tell you she hasn't gotten it yet, so don't wait for an answer. I'll send that to you when I turn it upside down. It's all packed up, but it's just not at the post office.
So sorry. M stands for Maxine. So what we have is, we've got some friends named Maxine. I'm sure Scott does. We've got Maxine's mustard seed brooch. And it's got the book of Matthew on the back. It's got the little story of the mustard seed and a little tiny mustard seed hanging in her little pendant from the brooch. So Maxine's got the little brooch. Maxine works at IHOP and she's got her own little name tag. So we've got Maxine with this little lucite with pin back name tag painted on there with little roses, red, white, and yellow roses. So everyone knows that Maxine is there to serve them. What do you want? And this was in the same lot. So I'm going to assume that M stood for Maxine, but it can stand for Margaret, who has put a bid. Love you, Margaret. It could stand for Mom. It could stand for any M you want. You could do something and turn it into a double if you really want to try. But the chain itself is actually pretty cool. It is a faux pearl and open link chain. There you go, Jeffrey. You want fries with that? You've got pearls and rhinestones alternating. Trying to see if I can get that to show a little bit better. So you've got definitely some bling. Maxine had a shiny side for her trips to Atlantic City. No shade there. Well, maybe a little. So you've got the necklace. It's got the I can't remember. Somebody told me one time. I can't remember what that kind of clasp is called, but it's like the little fold over clasp. It's in perfect condition, totally functional, and close it up. And I meant to measure it. I forgot. So the chain itself is.
You have a bit of 10.
3 inches. So you got a 23-inch chain, and then the M would go past that. So you got the M, the mustard seed, and really, like, joking aside, if you don't know any name Maxine, this would be able to be detached. So you could turn this into a pendant, and it is actually just a pretty open gold tone pendant that does have the scripture on the back about the mustard seed. And then, you know what? Here's your white elephant gift for Christmas. Everyone needs a friend named Maxine, or a Halloween party. You can become Maxine. You got the jewelry to do it. So we're going to go ahead and count it down. I saw some bids coming in, so we'll go ahead and count it down. 10. You get all 3 of these pieces. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Maxine is left the building. We're closing that out. Let's see who is at the end. So it looks like M is going to stand for Margaret. Do you see her as the last one, Margaret, for $12?
I do.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm glad you're going to give that a good home, whatever you end up doing with the other pieces. But you know what? I always want to have something nice in there. So I'm glad you got that, Margaret. Enjoy.
Look what I have for you. We're going to start out at $15 on this thing. It is in excellent condition. Speaking of Maxine at the Waffle House, look at this. You can heat up your Silex coffee pot or whatever will fit down in there and keep it nice and warm, just like they did in 1949. Now, this doesn't have a date on it, but these Silex things have been around for a while. And this is the Silex Company of Hartford, Connecticut.
I've heard that word before. What do they still make heaters? Like, what is? I'm trying to think why I know that name.
Silex?
Yeah.
Well, they were. I don't know what else I don't know what else Silex does, but they were big into coffee. So there was lots of coffee related items that Silex made. They may have made other things. I don't know. But here you have this white. The bottom of it is white. A white type of a plastic. Some type of a synthetic plastic, heavy, like that 50s hard plastic kind of stuff. And then here's the bowl, where they put that old coffee pot thing sits in there like that. And there's the heating element. The cord is wonderful. And you have 3 settings on the cord. And I fired this baby up and it's wonderful. You have, believe it or not, low.
And Joan rang the bell for me. It's Proctor Silex. That's why the name sounded familiar. So yeah, definitely coffee stuff.
And high. Okay. So you can set it off, and then you turn this little red button. And as you work your way up, you get all the way up to the high level there. You'll increase the heat, and the little coil lights up. And you can keep it very hot, or you can keep it nice and warm. And you can pretend you are... oh gosh, who was my favorite on Alice's? Vera. I loved Vera. Now Flo was okay and Alice was okay, but I just loved me some Vera. You remember Vera from Alice's Diaper?
Absolutely. Kiss My Grits.
No, that was Flo.
Oh, that was Flo.
Yes.
Oh, Vera was the silly one, right?
Yeah, kind of the dark-haired one.
Yeah.
My favorite line. Anyway, this is $15. I'm going to tell you my favorite line, and then if there's no interest, we'll move on. Poor little Vera. I remember that Alice came in and was so excited that somebody was going to have a baby. And she announced, "Oh, Vera, I'm so excited. So-and-so is going to have a baby." And as excited as she could be, Vera said, "Oh, I'm so excited. I hope it's a girl or a boy."
Yeah.
Isn't that silly? But that's the kind of line that Vera would.
That's
kind of like dumb line. Vera. Oh, yes, everybody laughed at Vera. Okay, anybody? Any? You get ready to put that.
No.
Put that stop in there, Patrick. We're moving on.
So was that Linda Lavin?
Yes.
All right. So I saw Linda Lavin on Broadway, and she was like 70, and she looked fantastic. She had amazing legs. But yeah, so she went on to do other things after Alice.
On Broadway. Wonderful.
I saw her in Our Mother's Brief Affair is the show that I saw her about probably 8 years ago. Useless information, but hey, Linda Lavin, at least 8 years ago, is still alive.
It's very
cool. For those of you who know my channel and might have caught me when I was first doing sales years ago, I've somehow got into this weird thing where I became known as the guy with coasters. I haven't had coasters in a while. I still use coasters. I still think coasters are an important, thing in life. But whatever, they haven't been a huge market, and I found more coasters. So I'm selling coasters, and these are going to be an $8 start because in addition to coasters, you get an entire hostess set. And this is still sealed in its plastic, and you can see it is a hostess set with 12 placemats, 12 coasters, and 12 beverage napkins. And you can tell by the little silhouettes that are on the label, we are in Amish country. And so we are, down the street from a couple hours from Scott. There's a price tag on here somewhere that says, reorder from the Amish Farm and House in Lancaster, Penna. So Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Back in the day, it was $1. I'd probably guess these are 60s, maybe 50s. I'm not sure. Not 100% by the art. But you get coasters that say, we grow too soon old and too late schmart. Now, I'm really thinking that's not actual German. But, we like to make fun of all cultures in America. And so why not do it to the Amish? But you've got the beautiful... the birds from all the welcome. I can't remember what they're called. Not the hex signs, but that's part of it too. But all the little welcome art. You got the horse and buggy, which if you're anywhere from any Amish country, I used to live in Maryland next to an Amish community. They are definitely looking like that. You also have, so those are the beverage napkins. Those are square.
Oh, like
You have the coasters that have the same phrase with the same art.
Like the art on a fraktur.
Yeah, the fraktur. That's what I was trying to think of. The fraktur. That's what I was trying to think of. And then, unfortunately, you can see the placemat has little sayings on it, but a lot of the sayings are covered up by the other stuff in here, and it's all sealed up, so I don't want to break it open. So the only ones that I can read are, "Rather would I single live than the wife the breeches give." I'm not sure I understand that. Borrowing makes for sorrowing. So, okay.
He doesn't want his wife to wear the pants.
Oh, there we go. And then like we've got we grow. I have no idea, but it ends with ARDT. Stairs down, around. I have no idea what the rest of them say because whoever packaged this did a horrible job because you can't read all the different phrases. But again, so you get 12 placemats, 12 coasters, 12 beverage napkins. They were made by Garden Spot Gifts. Again, there's nothing specifically here on the year, but it is completely sealed. There is a little crack in the plastic where it's separated a little bit, but it's still completely sealed up. So it would make for a perfect gift. And it was my reintroduction back to the land of selling coasters. But does not look like we have any coaster lovers or Pennsylvania Dutch lovers in the audience. So if Scott gets hovering over the keyboard, we will stop, put these away. We can bring them out later if somebody wants them, and we'll bop it to Scott so we can get some more stuff into the sale tonight.
All right, okie dokie. We'll bring those back at the very end. And we're just shy of 250 folks here tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget, even if you subscribe to the channel and you click the bell for notifications, you still have to go into those thumbnails and click notify me, right, Patrick? Because if you don't do that, you won't get a notification that there is a live sale, right? A lot of people say, I never get notifications. Well, that's because you have to go and actually turn it on yourself. Okay, you want to grind some cheese? Why not? I do. $14, excellent condition, ready to go. It's made out of good old American mined metal, probably steel or some alloy, and then some what am I thinking of? Up here at the top. And then the inside of it has
tin line.
Pretty clean. Yeah, tin. Yep. I was trying to think of. So there you go. Shove your cheese down in there or whatever it is that you'd like to come out in little tiny pieces. And then this clips onto your table right there. It simply says AS and then the number 802. That's all that's on it. It is clean. It is not rusted. I didn't test it. I didn't stick anything in there, but I have a feeling that it would,
those things were made to last forever.
That it would do its thing. I had it clipped onto the side of my Hoosier cabinet, and I kept running into it. And I said, "Dog, I'm not going to use it. It's just there for the aesthetic, for the heck of it, for me, just for the 30s look." I said, "Oh, let's pass it on. I don't need it." It has a wooden handle.
Started at $14.
Okay. Hi, Suzanne. It has a wooden handle. And I guess I'll let you hear it.
Well, you just use that for New Year's Eve. There's your party, your noisemaker for the New Year's party.
The cheese doesn't actually stay in. You force it in through the top, and then you would have a bowl or something sitting under here because as you're grinding it, the cheese will then, just start falling out of here into whatever bowl you have underneath it. So it's clipped to your table like that. There are attachments, and there were, it's just like that cookie gun thing. There were other kinds of attachments for, and like vacuum cleaners, you never seem to get one with all of its attachments.
When I think the difference is that's the time that's needed. Like some people are saying there should be something that pushes stuff in. Is those are also designed for like an actual block of cheese. The cheese itself is what's pushing the item in. It's not designed for like a tiny little piece of nutmeg that you have to try and hold in place. It's for like a carrot. It's for something, a big piece of vegetable or cheese that it pushes itself into the blades as it turns.
Well, you can use anything you want to push
Yeah.
the cheese in. I mean, you
Then live dangerous. Use your finger.
That's not a deal breaker that you don't have, because you put the as you know, the big hunk of cheese.
Carmen says you are the pusher.
The hunk of cheese goes into the top like that. You just push it down and you keep pushing it in, and so you don't tear your fingers up. You can get something piece of wood or a little hammer, something to shove down in there and grind it up and let it come out the other end. But there is a bid, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay, then we'll count it down. Gorgonzola, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who's going to grind some cheese? Who's going to grind some cheese? Will it be Margaret Howe who will be grinding her cheese? Was that the high bidder?
Oh, there's the competition.
I see.
I'm watching for the countdown.
Oh, I didn't do the countdown?
I'm watching your finger. I haven't seen your fingers go down. Did you do it?
No, but it doesn't matter. We'll keep. The problem is if you do it beforehand. 10, 9, 8. You ready? 7.
Yeah, I'm watching.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, now I'm watching a countdown. Wait, no, now you're talking about doing the countdown. How big is our lag today?
Oh, see it?
I'm still waiting. Oh, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are done.
Oh.
Okay. So it looks like back in the day fines got it at $21.
The nurse takes the cheese.
The nurse takes the cheese?
Somebody takes the cheese. Who gets it? The mouse. What is the nurse?
I assume the mouse takes you, but now you say that, I do think somebody else does get the cheese.
Who gets the nurse? The farmer? The farmer is supposed to get it, the wife, not the nurse.
I just finished doing 2 weeks of running Pinocchio and singing Farmer in the Dell like 8 times a day.
Oh, no.
That's all I've got in my head. All right.
Thank you back in the day and everyone who contributed and placed bids. That was fun to do that. Your turn.
Yep.
Go.
All right. Moving back into textiles. So this one, I'm not 100% sure. I think we're dealing with a scarf, maybe a headscarf, but because there's a central pattern to this, I'm thinking it might also be a table cover. So we have a $10 start. It is machine made. It is 38 by 38. I know it is machine made because you can see the selvage at the end. This would not have been done by hand. So this was done on a mechanical loom. And, I could definitely see a lady's headscarf of this size. You can do a little babushka, your babushka and a babushka. Matchmaker, make me a match. It's the size of that. But because that pattern is in the middle, I'm actually thinking that this is a table topper. That if you have a small round table or a square table, you would have that little pattern, that little rectangular thing showing in the middle, which I think is beautiful. Some great coloration on this. It's black and gold. And you can see there's designs on the corner. We've got fringes on 2 sides. So that's the other thing, that maybe it is a scarf because the fringe is only on 2 sides, not on all 4. It is black and it is gold. And then there's a tiny little bit of a blue, maybe a silver, but I would say it's more of a blue. So I would predominantly, like if you look at it from a distance, what should be reading in your color is black and gold. So that's what I was attracted to. But there is this little design that runs along the edge that now that I hold it from a distance, it does looking a little bit more silver. Yeah, let's go with silver as opposed to blue. For some reason, I was seeing some blue in it, but it could be my light. So But it does have a cool design to it. I think I saw a bid come in. Yeah, got a bid in there for $10. So we're just going to go ahead and count it down. I want to make sure we get as many items in tonight as we can. And we're already at the 1 hour mark. So we're counting this down. Thank you for the opening bid, Mr. Georgie Town. 10, 9, 8, 7. Oh, and I think I said it's 38 by 38. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. And watch for the delay. Florida Golden Girl trying to sneak in there. Watching for the stop. Did Florida Golden Girl get in?
I believe so. Yes, at 12.
Okay, that's what I'm seeing as well. Just wanted to make sure. Congratulations, Florida Golden Girl. And I think you have bought from me, but it's been a while and I can't remember your real name. So if you could just send me a quick email to my email address and just remind me, I would appreciate that. I'm not worried about you, just making sure I've got the right information.
I have 2 tins. It's $10 for both of them. And we'll look at each one. They are not rusted and they both have their lids. So the condition on them is pretty good. I love the Maxwell House coffee. The tins changed a little bit over the years, but this is one that had that little metal key. Wasn't that fun, twisting that little key all the way around and making the piece of metal peel off? Anyway, I won't try to take that lid off, but there it is. With its lid.
Was it the? Did you say was that the one that had the key? Is that what you said? Yeah, there's like a did it come attached to it, or were you supposed to have your own?
Yeah, it was like in it. It was it was in
Until you said it, I'm suddenly having a flashback. Like, oh my god, I do remember those.
It was a little key that was in it, and
it was in it. Okay, that's why I couldn't remember. So it was attached to it. Okay.
It was held in place by a little flap of metal that went over it, and you just twisted it.
And then you just kind of curled it around itself. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, you rolled it around. Then this is the lid that now this one is probably from the 50s. That one is a little bit older. We can see how deco. That looks like a piece of modern tone, doesn't it? By Hazel Atlas. So this is Miss, I'm not reading it. McNess. This says butterscotch flavored dessert mixture, and it's in an orange and black. This is fun for the autumn season. It's in an orange and a black can, and there's the pie on that side.
They're talking about Maxwell House. I did not know the Maxwell House Hotel was in Nashville. Another little tidbit of trivia for the evening.
This company is first McNess company of Freeport, Illinois, if that's of interest to anybody.
Just west of Rockford.
Established in 1908. And then there's a recipe for butterscotch cream pie and butterscotch pudding. Okay.
We're already starting you at 10.
$10 for both tins. The colors are great on them, as you can see. The condition is really good.
The condition is fantastic.
And usable, for Pete's sake. Pull the lids off. You put your little sweet and low packets in there if you want. Who cares? Whatever. Fill that up with paprika. Just remember to label it. I'm terrible for putting spices inside of old tins and then not labeling them. It's not good when you think you're putting in a pinch of cinnamon and it turns out to be cardamom, and you don't know until you've already taken the spice cake to the church bazaar. Who brought this? 10,
Maxine.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Yeah, Melody sneaking in. I'm watching for the countdown. Waiting for the lag. And I'm seeing the fingers are going up. There we go. 4, 3, 2. Oh, we got Briar's really wanting it. And we've got to stop. Let me just refresh really quick. And it looks like Briar Lee Picked it up at $15.
Thank you, Briar Lee.
And I will be an absolute lemming, and I will do my tins.
Do
So what I've got is an instant collection. And exactly the idea of what he talked about is what I would do with these as well. Mine are all a set of tea tins. So you can use these for tea bags. You can use them to hold your sweetener. This is a opening bid of $15. And just as a frame of reference, these came out of my booth. This one I had in the booth alone at $15. So you're getting all three for $15. The largest one has the squared off top. It's a Sweet Touch Knee Tea, the aristocrat of teas. And you've got this design that makes it look like a treasure chest or a trunk with the medallions on the end. And it is from Lynbrook, New York. Now, this does have a zip. This one has the zip code on it. So this is later. So this is after 1963. The smaller ones are going into the earlier ones, and you can tell their condition's getting a little bit worse, but they have the same design. You've got the trunk design all the way around. Doesn't have the address on them now. The top, where this one, as we got more contemporary, got flat. So you can stack. This one, you can see, has a rounded top. So the medium-sized one, you get the Sweet Touch Knee Tea. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a play on something. Sweet Touch Knee, Sweet Touch Knee. I have no idea. But you get the middle one, Consolidated Tea Company's name on the top. And then you get the smallest one, which has the same shape with the domed top. Again, this one was in my booth for $12. Same design all the way around. And got Sweet Touch Knee Tea, Consolidated Tea Company in New York. So this one's in pretty good condition. The newest one, is probably the best condition. You can still see quite a bit of sheen. And then this one, a little bit of condition issues, but you've got a stack, put them together however you want. These, again, rounded, it's a little bit harder. But I wanted to keep them together as a set if somebody wanted to keep them as a set. Definitely. They were in antique stores. I had them in my antique store. They didn't sell because they are relatively common. So that's why I'm dropping the price down, basically $5 a tin. So you've got totally functional tins. All of the lids are hinged, which is kind of nice. Inside looks, particularly for the more contemporary one, looks fantastic. This one was made in England, probably from the Daher company, although I can't read it. But it's got the tin marked on the bottom. The other ones also hinged, not as clean on the inside, but still perfectly acceptable for storing. And all of the lids are in good condition. So tin lined. All right. I did not see any bids coming on that. So I'm going to go ahead and close that off and move it back to Scott so he can get something else for sale.
Okay, I put the stop in on that. We'll bring it in at the end. We'll bring that back at the end and some other items at the end as well. I have for you another lamp project. Now that mimics the furniture of the era in which it was made. Wow, $20 is where we start on that because it is made of mahogany. And take a look at those scrolled feet. What does that tell you? It's telling you, well, it can't be from the first Empire furniture era. We didn't have electricity then, right, in homes, but we certainly had it by 1919, 1918, 1920, when there was a lot of Second Empire furniture, heavy, massive furniture always with these scrolled feet, and you've got 4 scrolled feet. This is a lamp base. Now, I'll let you see closely. That's all mahogany. And we'll turn it around this way. And we go all the way up to the top. You will have to put your own socket on it. You don't get this one. That, first of all, it's empty. There's no works on the inside. I just screwed that on to let you see how easy it is. You can put whatever kind of a socket on there that you want. It just screws right on. Even modern sockets are threaded the same as the antique. So you can wire it up.
20.
You can put a harp on it. I personally would not use a harp. It's small enough that you can actually, and I'm going to show you that I'm going to be selling later, not with this lamp, but a little bit later tonight, I'm selling this wonderful old cloth shade. Look at that, which clips onto a light bulb, and you can get the idea. Now, that's not the right size with that one, but it stands 11 inches tall. And do any of you remember? I had one set of grandparents, and they had an old Second Empire table. I can see it now. It sat in the back of their living room, and it had two pillars in the middle with an oval top, and it had these big old scroll feet that came down just like this on the floor. That I don't know what happened to that old table. It's gone. I didn't get it. I don't know where it went. But anyway, made of mahogany. This is about 100 years old, maybe a little bit more. Beautiful brown mahogany, and it's solid wood. It's not made out of veneer, and it doesn't have any. I wouldn't do anything to the finish except just maybe clean it if you wanted to. So we'll count this down if there are not any questions about it, and I appreciate you. It's so much easier now. We can see if there are questions, and we can see the bids. Oh my goodness! Thank you, everyone. We can really see that, Patrick. Boy, that's helpful. To be able to see if you've got any questions or not before we count the items down.
We're all good. Everyone's loving Empire, and Prudel's loving the piece. She's got your opening bid at $20. It's hers right now.
You're going to turn that into a lamp. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Suzanne's sneaking in. She's trying to grab it for 22.
Second Empire.
Watch out. We're jumping in. We got the countdown coming. 4, 3, 2, 1. And we've got the stop. And it looks like Mr. Joji Town really wanted it and took it at $37.
The wooden lamp is 37. Thank you, Mr. Joji Town.
And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that. You've bought from me before, but I'm actually not 100% sure.
I know, yes. Thank you. You're going to enjoy converting that back into a lamp. It'll look so nice in any old-timey place setting that you care to use it. Thank you kindly. And solo layout. Patrick, it's your turn.
All righty. We're going to start something out. We're jumping to postcards. So who are my postcard collectors and who are my train and trolley collectors? So we've got an entire stack of over 60 postcards that are starting with a $5 opening bid. So we're like 10 cents per card. These are all vintage cards. None of them have been made. Well, I take that one. There's one that's been mailed, but it doesn't have the stamp. So I'm just leaving it in here. This was mailed in 1971. Most of them appear to be from the 70s, but there are a handful in here that have the images, have the copyright has a 1 or 2 digit zip code. So some of them do date prior to 1963. So just kind of going through them really quick. I don't want to spend a lot of time going through them, but you can just see these are all postcards and they're all different styles. I believe they're all in color. I was selling these individually at the mall. And it just got to a point where they're taking up space. They keep getting messed up. People take them out of sleeves. I'm getting rid of them. So take advantage of a deal way below what I've ever sold these for. Some of these are still priced from where I got them. In some cases, $1 a piece, $2 a piece. There's one marked at $6. You know what? You're just getting all the train ones that I could find. So just, again, zipping through here, some are electric trains, some are steam trains, some are from the East Coast, some are from the West Coast. They're all over the place. Some are, hot matte finish, some are gloss finish. It is truly a mix of what we're getting. I would read them as I'm holding them, but I can't see it. That says Vermont Railway, Monadnock Railway, Steamtown, USA, Vermont. Oh, I got that one sideways. So I guess that's the interior of a train. This was the one that's marked at $6. Jupiter, Hawaii, Jersey Central. Another one from Steamtown, USA. Also from Steamtown, USA. So that's in Vermont. Must have been a museum. Oh yeah, so a lot of these are from Steamtown, USA. So this must have just been a museum. Bangor and Aroostook, Rhode Island. Denver and Rio Grande Western, Colorado. Another Colorado. I don't think there's any etching to be at Santa Fe, but I'll as I'm zipping through the rest of the stack super quickly. I did not isolate any of them out there. This is an international one. Tenerife, Venezuela. All Aboard, Roaring Camp and Big Trees, Tulamine River, Southern Pacific Railroad, another Southern Pacific, train entering Union Station yards, Pinafore Park Pioneer, miniature railroad train, New Royal Gorge. So we even get a tram in there. Paradise and Pacific Railway, Tone of Power, Nickel Plate. This one doesn't have anything on the back. It's just a postcard sized and weighted card. Algoma, I don't know where that is. Algoma, is that Pennsylvania? Pikes Peak.
Sounds like it.
Streamline, Colorado. Cogwheel, Colorado. Don't know what that one was. Amtrak, Midwest Old Settlers, Southern Pacific. Ooh. Daylight, Southern Pacific. And I could go toe to toe with you, Jeffrey, and do the entire lyrics of Ashton, Topeka, and the Santa Fe from the Harvey Girls. I know exactly what you're talking about. Alexandria Bay, New York, and another international one. So that is a stack. I'm counting it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blank. Close that out. And we'll see. It looks like we did have somebody come in. We got back on the day fine, trying to sneak in, watching for the countdown. All right. Did Robert make it?
It looks like maybe back in the day at 21. Let me hit refresh because it's so funny the way the brain works. And there's so much to do when you're doing this. Good grief. Because we have all these devices and I had already typed in stop. And instead of pressing the enter on my computer so stop would go in, I went up to my screen and I pressed end. And it said end live stream. And I no.
Well, I saw him go. I saw back in the day fine go in before I saw my own countdown down. So I think we're okay anyway.
We're still here. It's weird the way.
Yeah. And so, yes, Robert gets it for $21. Nice pickup, Robert. Thank you. Back in the day fines. Thank you for picking that up.
Pardon me. Excuse me for trying to hide the fact that I just yawned. But I've just gotten.
I'll try and do better to entertain you, Scott.
No, I need to sleep an extra hour probably tomorrow morning.
Jeffrey and I can do a duet of the Harvey Girls.
Well, I don't think I know who the Harvey Girls are, but I do know that is a beautiful pen holder that dates to around 1930, and it starts at $19. It doesn't have any chips or cracks on it. And just take a look how beautiful these are. So you have a place there to put another pen, and just look at this material. Look at that sort of, there were different types of plastics that were used.
KP starting out at $19.
Know that all those different there were many different, everything from lucite to Catalin to Bakelite to, we could name how many different celluloid. What are some of the others we could name? There's another one, not paraffin, that's wax. There's another one I'm thinking of. Anyway, this is one of those early type plastics that someone who knows someone who really knows their plastics or their collectible pens from that era will know what this material is. It's kind of a mottled, almost a tortoise shell look, but it's all in green, and it's not chipped or cracked or anything. And there's a nice little brass decorative band right around here, right around that end. Would have been part of a larger desk set, as everybody knows, blotters and clocks and so forth.
You've got your opening bid with KP. I love the little brass trim around the edge of that. Keeps it from chipping the plastic. Joan is asking if the base is onyx or if is it a heavier, it looks like it's some sort of a stone.
I've seen these before with the word onyx on them. Yeah, there's felt on the bottom of it. Usually that marble is called onyx. I'm just going to generically say stone marble, of some type of, but yes. It certainly is. Thank you for asking. Any other questions? If not, I shall go ahead and count this beautiful pen holder down. 10. Look, this would be a sacrilege, wouldn't it? Oh, no. No. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the lag, watching for your fingers to pop up.
Okie doke.
You to count down. There, I see them. 4, 3, 2. Oh, we got Jeffrey trying to sneak in. 2, 1, and stop. Let me refresh. And yes, Jeffrey snuck in right before the stop at $22.
Jeffrey gets the pen holder.
Congratulations, Jeffrey.
Thank you, Jeffrey, and thank you for being a moderate and for being thank you for being moderate.
Is it getting late for you, Scott?
Thank you for your Yes, well, I've been at the shore having a good time, and now I'm back, and so I have to get out of I have to get back into. Thank you for your more than adequate moderation.
Jeffrey is more than a moderate moderator.
Yes. It's your turn, Patrick.
All right. So, if you ever wanted to participate in all the charcuterie madness,
yes,
you will have your own absolutely most likely unique charcuterie board for all of your international cheeses. And this is a $10 $10 start for a cheese plate. So was originally our booth at $25. It is Tauntonware, Tauntonware Industries Limited from Wibliscum.
You said the start is 25?
No, start is 10.
Okay.
It was in my booth for 25, but I'm starting it here at 10 because I'm just clearing inventory. Wibliscum, Somerset, England. So this is a British cheese plate. So why am I starting with the ones that are upside down? So we'll start at the top. Now, some of these, I don't even know what they are. Belle Passe I don't know if that's a translation of Parmesan or these are just all different. I guess cheddar is a different than Kerfeli. Gruyere is different than Emmenthal, Dana Bleu, Samso, Roquefort. Oh, I've heard of that. Camembert, I've heard of that. Achleitner, nope. Monsieur, nope. Gouda, heard of that. Edam, heard of that. Allgauer, to me, that's a restaurant here in the Chicago suburbs. Tilsiter, nope. And then Bel Passe and Parmesan, I've heard of. So you can feel inadequate while you're serving the cheeses because there's no way on earth you're going to find all of those cheeses. But you've got this great decor, great design. So all these multiple colors, all of the different, dresses of the world, and even some menswear of the world. I guess where some of the cheeses are from. I'm not going to be. Oh, hey, I'm going to say he's German. Those look like Lederhosen, but I'm not going to share what all of these other cultures are. It has a little rubbered feet on here. So it does set up. It has a little rim so you can carry it. Your cheeses will not fall off. You're right, KP. There's no Stilton on this one. You have to take a little magic marker and just write it in and put the Stilton. So it is obviously a circle, but I didn't measure it. So it is basically 10 inches across. So it's a nice size. You'll put your cheese and crackers and have your own little charcuterie board of the cheeses of the world. So again, it's a $10 start, and it is a resin of some sort. I don't know the age on it. I did find information about the company, but not what this. Yeah, so Jacqueline, it is. It's a plastic of some sort, and then this is screen printed somewhere on here. Somehow on here, it doesn't feel like a label or anything, so I'm not sure. I wouldn't use probably a sharp knife to cut your cheese on that. No comment, Scott. But it's in very, very good condition. So either it wasn't used much or they didn't use any sharp objects that sliced into the artwork. And the back has kind of a paperboard covering where the little rubberized feet stick through. That appears to be it. I didn't see any bids come through. So I will go ahead. If Scott's ready, I'll just go ahead and close that down and pass it back to Scott so he can sell the next item.
Okay. A little unusual for me, but there it is. Yes, I sold it a couple of weeks ago, and the person who purchased it did not realize they were giving it as a gift, and they found out that after they purchased it from me, that the person to whom they were going to give it already had it, and said, would it be okay if they didn't purchase it? And I said, of course. So here it is again. It's $25 tonight. I did sort of check on the auction sites to see what this sells for online, and in this unused condition, they're selling for about $50. So we'll see if we have any Stooge fans out there for the entire box, and it is completely unused. Yes, it's all there, and look, it's in its shrink wrap or whatever you call it. I don't say old cellophane, but I know that's not right. It's all shrink wrapped. See that? None of it has been played. So it's the whole collection from 1934 to 1959. And then there's even some extra little video in there of something else special that has to do. So if you know anyone that is a Stooge fan, I have to admit, I never really got into the comedy, but I loved the fact that all those 1930s interiors, I just watched it every time they were inside of a 1930s house. That whole set, oh my gosh, I think that's everything. There might have been some the movies might even be in here that they made. Let's run it really fast. Did we get anybody jumping in on that? If not, we will bring this back at the end. $25 gets the whole unused.
Nobody jumping in, but everyone's trying to spell all of the things that the Three Stooges used to do. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Interesting to see it in print. but no bids.
Very good. Then I will go ahead and say that I'll probably just throw this up on eBay because I had actually already taken the pictures of it, and then I did sell it in that live sale. But here it is again. Patrick, if you'll put the stop in there, we'll shut this down. Yep. And then we'll move on to your next item. And we've got 30 minutes left, maybe even a little bit more. You know, there's no mad rush to end it right at 9 o'clock. So let's keep selling.
All right. So my next item, you got any prospective parents coming along? We've got a set of vintage diaper pins. Who remembers these? Thankfully, I don't. This is a $10 start for all 8 of the diaper pins, and they are not sure what the material is on the end. I'm just going to say plastic, but it could be something else. I think they're later than Bakelite, so I'm just going to assume that they're plastic. But they are in the shapes of little animals. So yes, they are diaper pins, but you can use them for many things. They're basically safety pins. So they're completely functional. You open it up. It's got a very deep, channel to pull it out of, and it goes back in. So it's nice and safe for diaper pins. But again, it's just you need safety pins. We've got, I guess that's a chick. Gonna go with chick. We've got a couple of 3 chicks on this one. They're not on anything. They're just like kind of linked together, so I didn't lose them. And a duck, a little blue baby duck. Oh, absolutely. Could use them as keychains. That's a good idea. And yes, the channel is really big, so it is probably a little bit safer than safety pins. And when I held it into the light, I suddenly saw that there's something written on the back of one of them. So let me zoom in on it really quick and see what that says. Probably says who made it. Patent piece, Japan, and then some numbers like 3-6 or 306. But it does say Japan. So yeah, so 50s, I'd say, is a pretty good guess. So the little yellow ducks and little blue, or chicks and a little blue duck. And then on this one, we've got 2 that are just kind of regular pinheads, just regular safety pins, no particular shapes to those. Another duck. This one actually still has the orange on his beak, and I think a monkey. I originally thought it was an elephant that maybe had lost its trunk, but there's color on the inside, so I think that that's just a monkey.
I'm with you, Philip. Philip says he was born in 1971, and they used him on his diapers. And I was born in 67, and I know my mother used diaper pins. I
was born in 1970. I have no idea what my parents did because I don't remember that well. So. But that's what they are. And yeah, they're super cute. I couldn't pass them up. I thought they were really cute. So it's $10 to start. You get all 8 of them. I love the idea of using them as a keychain. That'd be kind of fun. But yeah, just all kinds of different purposes, because you need safety pins all the time. And just think of the comments you would get if you suddenly had something you sent with your kids, or you sent to your husband or wife off to work with them, with all their stuff pinned together. I did not see a lot of comments. Everyone's remembering them, but I'm not seeing anyone picking them up. Oh, wait, I do.
You do.
Kathleen, thank you so much, Kathleen. But I'm going to go ahead and start counting them down.
Okay.
So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that'll be the countdown for all 8 of the diaper pins. And actually, I got these on the way back from visiting Scott a month or 2 ago. Found these with Raj at an antique mall on the way home. All right, looks like a Golden Girl sneaking in. I think she came in ahead of the stop. Waiting for Scott to confirm.
Yes, at 11.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Florida Golden Girl. Oh, Carmen says she was even using them in 88. Wow. I didn't realize they were still been in use at that point. I very happily put my daughter in Pampers Baby Dry when she was born in 1999 and did not use diapers. Almonds, or is it one of the coiled up snakes? Silence falls upon the crowd.
$12, and I love this thing. I have annoyed so many people with it, but it's time to pass it on. You guessed it. And you can tell by that can that it goes back to the 20s and 30s. There's a patent number on it. You can look it up. It's too tiny for me, and that will tell you who patented this and when. It's right down there. And I didn't take a picture of it. I didn't have time before I started the broadcast. So I don't know, but I can tell enough from the way the can is made that it is, without doubt, something from the 1920s or 30s. And you know what's going to happen when we open this thing. I think, oh, there it goes. Look at that. It jumps right out of there. That is the real thing. And we can pull it all the way out. There you can see the inside of the can. This is the kind of thing that, as you know, I had 2 sets of grandparents, and I've told you enough about them that some of you refer to one set as the fun grandparents and the other set as the not so fun grandparents. Well, my fun grandfather had all kinds of things like this and loved practical jokes, and he would have, in fact, he probably had one of these. But there it is with the original fabric still on it. Let's see if I can get that thing back in there. It's the real thing. I've had fun with it over the years, and I've fooled a few people with it. You ever seen one in person? You know, the real thing?
I've never seen one in person. I knew what they were, and I knew based on the way it was designed and the way the little smart ass look in your eye that you were not selling an empty tin of almonds.
You knew there was something to it.
Yeah.
So there it is, and it's just made in the USA, and you'll be able to find out which novelty company made this by looking at
starting with 13.
The patent number on the bottom. But I love that the snake is still in there and has a little bit of spring left in him.
Yeah. Everyone's remembering them.
We'll count this old thing down, which is a lot of fun to have. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Poodle, I can't believe it because my grandfather had inflatable legs as well. And I will never forget, he used to scare us with those things. He blew them up, and it was a leg. That must have been something that grandfathers had in the 50s. I'm sure they were old when I was a little kid. That is hilarious. I haven't thought about those blow up legs. They were just legs. Yes, he did. I'm sorry.
Nope, that's good. I put the stop in, and Mr. Joe G. Town was able to pick that up at $22.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Joe G. Town, for 22. I'll go ahead and mark that down. That was fun to look at that and talk about that. It's now Patrick's turn.
All right. I'm about a week or two late from the heat wave that we'd had, but I am sure another heat wave is coming. So I have a paper church fan, whatever kind of fan you want to consider, that is going to be an $8 start. And so what we've got is a horse with a woman in a bowler. Is that a bowler or a derby? Can't remember the difference of the two. a lovely pear, and it's in the shape that you can see a horseshoe going around it. And it is a promotional piece for Frank S. Regal, dealer in pianos, organs, and, of course, sewing machines, phonographs, and records in Middleburg, Pennsylvania. So you've got a great advertising piece with a great image photograph of a horse with her female rider. Just check out, look at those leg of mutton sleeves on that. This, I would say, we're dealing turn of the century here. Unfortunately, you can see there's foxing on the paper. You know, it's a natural occurrence as paper gets old, if it's not stored properly, which is why it's important to get these into a good home so they can take care of them in a nice humid controlled, temperature controlled environment. But it still serves its purpose as a fan. And I just absolutely loved the artwork on this. I just think it's so cool to have a female equestrian holding her little riding crop. I wish I could say what era this actually is, but based on the sleeves of her dress and that cinched waist, and I'm guessing there's a bustle, we're dealing with the end of the 19th century. Can you imagine being in a bustle trying to ride that thing? Just being in a corset that holds your waist that tight and climbing up onto the horse. But beautiful horse, wonderful imagery, and a great vintage advertising piece. So $8 start, and not seeing, cranking through as much as we can tonight, so I'm not seeing anybody jumping in on this. So we're going to go ahead and pass this back over to Scott, put a stop to this one, and let Scott pick up his next item.
All right, I put a stop to that. Put a stop to that.
Put a stop to that.
Put a stop to it. Okay. Let's do these things. We've got some 1960s wall art, some mid-century. I don't know. Have we got any mid-century folk here tonight? $20 for the pair. You get both of them, and I have to back it up. Wait a minute. I should have done this in advance, and I didn't. But they measure 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They measure 10 by 20. 10 by 20, and you'll get both of them. I'm now going to back it up.
Well, make yourself full screen before you leave the camera.
Oh, good heavens.
No one cares what I look like.
Oh, hush. Now I've got fuzz. I've got something all over me. Wait a minute. Now I forgot my dimensions.
10 by 20.
10 by 20?
Yep.
They have to face each other. Now you guys remember all of this exotic stuff that came out in the 50s and the 60s. The
Poodle's got you at 40.
And the Les Baxter records and all of that exotic, wonderful, tacky, exotic stuff from the 60s. We love it. And look, it's a matching pair. So I've told you the measurements. There they are. Some type of Asian. We were looking at it and we weren't sure what the Asian culture was. I guess it doesn't make, maybe someone knows exactly, but take a look at her. Now this is ebonized wood here, not plastic. Yes. And it is on this wonderful sort of orangey burlap. Yeah, it's three-dimensional, right? Is that what it's supposed to say? Am I supposed to say it's three-dimensional? And then the dude that's with her, I can just hear those wonderful exotic recordings. With Julie London, on the front of some LP. This one has its hook for hanging. That hook is gone. You'll have to do something about that. There's the backs. Martin Denny records. But they're in good condition and they're clean. They don't smell like anything.
And Pamela's asking, is she smoking a pipe? And yes, it does appear that she is smoking a pipe.
It appears that she is. I thought about the same thing, Sparkle. Something like that. Cambodia, Laos, something Southeast Asian maybe. But I could just see the room that these were in, with a big console record player on the with the little spindly little legs that came out at an angle. You know what I'm talking about, Patrick?
Absolutely.
The little Jetson era legs that stick out at the bottom.
Sputnik legs.
We will count this wonderful mid-century wall art down. Great to have the pair of them.
And Poodle wants them. She's in at 40 already.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For the mid-century wall art. And you know, if you have a significant other and you're angry at the significant other and you wish to be left alone, you could switch these on the wall. That would indicate to your significant other that you're not happy right now and you choose to be left alone. When you make up, you put them back that way again.
Poodle was trying to protect her bid, but she didn't need to because she got them at 40.
All right, Poodle, thank you. Let me slide myself back up here. I will pack them well, and I appreciate it. Oh, I want a picture of your mid-century room. They're going to look fantastic.
All right, going back to some linens, and I will be perfectly honest. This is a $20 start. This has been in my stack of almost every sale that I've done with Scott for the Unbreakables, and it always gets pulled to the last minute because I like it too much. And I'm really at the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't have any place to put it. I do not need to buy another piece of furniture to put it on. So it is being donated into the sale. Not donated, I'm selling it. So it's a $20 start. It is a table topper. It is 30 by 30. So it is a smaller piece. So this is great if you've got a big dining room table. This can just sit cattywampus across the center of it. If you've got a smaller candle stand, smaller end table, dresser, whatever, this is a smaller piece. Does not have to cover the entire thing. And the detail on this is amazing. It's definitely machine done. You know, we're not going to pretend it's anything other, but it's the detail and the conditions are great. You've got the stitch work done both at the hem and in the details on all the corners. You've got this geometric design that goes all the way around it, and all of the stitch work is still in perfect condition. None of those stitches have been torn out.
Was it a $20 start?
It's a $20 start, and Philip's already in at 20.
Okay, got that. Very good.
So you can just see most of that when you get into that type of hem stitching, it just gets snagged, and it's not. This is just, that's why when I keep something for my personal collection, it's because it's perfect. This is perfect. It's got a beautiful centerpiece to it that also takes that great architectural geometric design. It just goes with any, could go modern, could go classical, Victorian, mid-century modern, whatever you want. It is beige, so it goes with all colors. It's got the architectural of the deco, but it's got the clean lines of everything of the mid-century modern. It's just a cool piece, and it could go into, because of the lace on the corners, it could go into Victorian. Absolutely love it. But I have other pieces that I love more that are more appropriate for the furniture that I have. So this is just keeps getting moved and moved and moved. Never wanted to sell it in my booth because I'm always afraid my linens are going to get damaged, particularly things with the stitch work in it. So I don't have a place to sell them other here on the sale. So I love being able to sell them in the sale. So in Scott's sale. So again, it's 30 by 30. So it's a nice smaller size, perfect for like a little candle stand or on a part of a bigger table, piano, whatever you've got with that great place in the middle to put whatever you want without covering up the design. So many times the beautiful stitch work is right in the middle. So the minute you put a centerpiece on there or anything that you set down on a table, you cover up half the design. This is totally open, absolutely beautiful, great condition, and I'm really happy people are hoping to give it a good home. So I'm going to go ahead and start the countdown on this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. I'll wait for Scott to watch for the lag and see what he can find, what he sees comes in before the countdown.
And it appears as though it is Roxanne Suede at 23.
All right. Thank you, Roxanne, for picking that up. I don't remember if I've got your information, so if you could just make sure you send an email to me, I would appreciate it. Sorry you missed out on that, Philip.
The original electric neckwear presser, Tie Boy. This starts at $20. That's what that side of the box looks like. Nothing here. Same thing here. Look at that wonderful necktie on the front. Now, when I open this up, you will know that this is from the 1920s and it is complete. Do you have someone who is a collector of antique neckties? They've got to have this. You old-time vintage clothing people, it's all complete. And look, it was a Christmas gift from Aunt Jenny. Now let me get that out of there. There's old Aunt Jenny's Christmas tag. And that's an old 1920s Christmas tag from Aunt Jenny. Look at the plug. I love it. Now, in the olden days, of course, as you know, there might only be one outlet in the room, but you always had some old dumb old naked light bulb right up at the ceiling. That's why that is there. That will come off, and you can just plug it in if you have a wall socket. But we see a lot of items from the 1920s that survive with this adapter, so that you could screw it into the old light bulb that's hanging over the kitchen table. And what do you do with this thing? Well, you plug that in to the wall or to a socket. You take this piece of metal and you shove it in the tie to keep its form. This thing is plugged in and the Tie Boy is heating up. Now, this was manufactured in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania by the electric neckwear presser. We open up, there are the original instructions. Look at that. Where are you going to find another one as complete as this?
That's fantastic.
Hatchet.
Love when the instructions are still in there.
Oh, I love it.
Those are frameable by themselves. Those are just absolutely fascinating. Mr. Georgetown's got you at $20.
So you're going to stick this in the tie, put it flat here. They probably want you to spritz it a little bit, and then you close the book. Now, I haven't tried this, but I have absolutely no doubt the way these things were made, that you can plug that in and this thing will heat right up. This what I'm calling the magazine part here, because you can see the electric wire goes in the front. There's some type of a coil, very much like the way that an electric blanket would work. Same type of technology. So this side heats up, and those old silk ties sit in there just like that, and it'll heat up. Now, don't run off to the grocery store and leave your tie cooking. Look at that electric cord. I love this thing. With the old instructions that are with it. And we're going to remember Aunt Jenny And we're going to leave that right in there as Aunt Jenny's Christmas gift. This probably dates to about 1925, 26, 27, something like that. We'll close it back up and we'll count it down. Look at that box.
I said just the box. That's worth it all by itself.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the 1920s, Tie Boy.
Watching for the countdown, waiting for the lag. Got a couple of people trying to sneak in. 2, 1, and I've got to stop. We'll refresh because it looks like somebody was trying to snipe in there. And we've got Hallow Thrifty snuck in right before the stop at $26.
I think I know who Hallow Thrifty is. And I thank you dearly, Hallow Thrifty, at 26. Wonderful.
Perfect. All right, we're coming to the top of the hour. My last item that I had it from my previews is back to a piece of ephemera. So this is a $10 start. And this was for when magazines were real magazines because you had nothing else in your house to do other than, well, we'll just say you just read a lot. So this is the Harper's Monthly Magazine from 1906. Somebody decided to make it very clear that this belonged to Ray Winkle of Kingsley, Iowa. So apologize that the cover has been marked. Once cost 35 cents. I did not do the inflation calculator, so I don't know what 35 cents in 1906 turns into, but it seems kind of pricey. But you consider this is thick. This is probably almost 2 pounds by the time I package it to weigh it, to ship it out. And it is, where are the page numbers? It's, last page number I just saw was like 154. It's probably about 200 pages long. The ads are not numbered. But wanted to highlight a couple of different things. And I've talked about this before. So, because again, this was, entertainment for the whole family. You'd sit around the fire or your 2-watt electric bulb and read to your family. And it came with art. And what you can tell by higher quality magazines of the era was when they put the art in there. So you've got this beautiful illustration of, at that moment, the vision before him stirred and spoke. So you have this beautiful full color. On the back is nothing, because you could cut this out of the magazine, frame it, and you suddenly have art for your home. Lesser quality magazines, and even some of the images when here, would put the text on the back. So if you tried to frame it, you would see that text coming through. So the nicer ones, they knew that they could sell this, and somebody just, thank you, Trendlin, for doing the translation of that. $33 would be equivalent of buying a $33 magazine today. If you're spending that kind of money, you're going to want to use this for art. And there's several pages in here that are done that way. So that was one that I marked. This is another one, The Death of Mordred, another full color one that has no text on the back. So I'm never a big fan of cutting things apart, but the fact of the matter is ephemera needs to have a future life. And sometimes that life is in its pieces. An article about Philadelphia. I actually had brought this with me when I visited Scott. It just never got included in the sale. And this is an example of a great illustration for Philadelphia. Upside down.
Hi,
Sorry? But then text on the back of that illustration. So, you could frame it if you want, but those were not designed to be kept or framed. Not all the frameable art was in black and white. So you got this little cute one of a mother and a child. Suppose I put on the overalls and see how I look. So that goes along with the story. Let's see what I marked a couple of pages. Another great full color illustration. resting her cheek on his thatch of yellow hair. So again, title page is, look how far into the magazine the title page is. All of these are ads, and the ads are amazing. So we got Quaker Oats. I've got a couple articles. Let's see, there was a couple for some cars, and we're like in 1906. There's schools, an entire section of schools and colleges. Morgan Park Academy still exists here in the Chicago area. Pennsylvania Swarthmore Preparatory School, Pennsylvania Military College in Chester. So a whole section of advertising schools. Trying to find some of the ads. Add full page advertisements for books. You don't see that much anymore. So, this Harper's published books as well. So they wanted to promote it. Why did I not mark some of the advertisements? Let me go to the back. It's got a full page bottle of White Rock, Armour's Star, hams and bacon, full page ad for that. The inside back cover is Swift Silverleaf lard, and then an Ivory soap ad about it being it floats. Skating on a Barrett specification roof. So you've got architectural roofing. The Standard Sanitary Manufacturing Department advertising of bathroom fixtures. Beautiful illustration of a hot air pump. I didn't know they had a hot air pumps in 1906. Dickens' Complete Works. You're sitting in your home in 1906. You're doing a lot of reading. So they published a lot of advertisements for reading. And, they don't make ads like this anymore. To fat people, we're going to get your attention right there. Cyclo, the Closet of Health, promoting a toilet. In the morning of rising, take half glass of Hunyadi Janos. That didn't stick around for the last test of time. Trade Mill Soap, Cura soap, Grand Linden Hotel, Lake Sunapee, New Hampshire, Whitman's Chocolate and Confections, Evans Ale, a cool summer outing in California. So it's Vacation Hotel Champlain, some great Erie Railroad. So there's railroad advertisements. There's just some fantastic stuff. And yes, it is in amazing condition. It's the binding is still all there. The spine is actually still there. A little bit of tear at the bottom, but all the pages are still attached, and they're all pretty much in pristine condition. There's no tears. There's like a couple places where it's bent a little bit. But yeah, given the age, it's fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and count it down because I know we had a bid. So we got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and close it out. All right, watching for the countdown from Scott.
It's in there.
I see the stop. And it looks like KP snuck in right before at 21. Is that what you see?
I see KP at 21.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, KP. Glad you picked that up.
The last thing I have before I show you the two items that didn't sell is this lampshade. Now, I'm not selling that lamp, and that shade is not the right size for that lamp anyway, but it's on this lamp so that you can see that it will light up. I don't know.
Full page and wants to start.
Full page. Yeah. The lampshade starts at $12. I'll give you the measurements of the lampshade, and then I will make myself into a full page. We all know how expensive lampshades are. This is a clip-on lampshade. It will clip on to any light bulb that you want. I love how the fabric is gathered around the top. You like that?
Fantastic.
It's not ripped.
Poodle's got you at 14.
You can tell me what you think that type of fabric is. It has a shine to it, but I won't attempt it. And it is
I would have said silk.
I would have too. And Patrick, what color do you see?
And my screen is looking kind of mauvey.
It is kind of mauvey. Of course, when you turn it on, and I don't know what kind of, that's probably is that maybe a 40 or 60 watt light bulb. I wouldn't put anything higher than that in there because it is. I think
put an LED in there so it doesn't generate the heat.
Yeah, one of the biggest mistakes I always see is people use light bulbs that are just too doggone bright, and in many cases, and that's where you get burns on lampshades and that kind of thing. So there's no way would you stick 100. But this is for a small boudoir lamp, a small bedside table lamp, that kind of thing. The measurement of it, and I'll pull it off of that wonderful fixture and show you. Now, again, I'm just selling the shade tonight. But you can see it as a clip-on. And as I said, the fabric is not torn anywhere. Around the top is 4.5 inches. It stands 6 inches tall. And it's 8.5 inches wide at the bottom. So it's not going to go on some great big massive lamp. Here was that Second Empire lamp from the early 20s. You get the idea that this would be on a small lamp. Okay, any questions about the lampshade? I just love the top. Look, it's squishy and mushy. 10? There was a bid, Patrick?
Yes.
Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Watching for the lag. Watching for your countdown. There I see it. 3, 2, 1, and we got to stop. All right. It looks like Poodle outbid herself. So she gets it for 14.
Poodle gets it for 14.
Yes.
Okay.
She snuck another one in before the stop, but she was the highest bid earlier with that, only 14.
Poodle gets the lampshade at 14, and I have the Silex coffee and the Stooges. I'll show them. Patrick, let's let you show some things. So
I'm just going to be really quick because I had several things that didn't sell, but I'm not going to waste a lot of time because we're already past the 2-hour mark. So I will just highlight if there's anything you want me to run. If some people came in late and didn't see them, let me know. So I've got the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish hostess set, still in its packaging, placemats, coasters, and napkins. We've got the vintage stockings for Joyce and Ken. We've got the charcuterie cheeses of the world tray. We've got the set of tins, the Russian tea tins, the turn of the century 1890s paper fan from Middleburg, Pennsylvania, with the woman and her horse.
It may be
Fairweather is asking me to run the horse fan, so I'll go ahead and do that now. So thank you for asking. So this was, remind myself, this was an $8 start. So again, it's in great condition. Again, considering the age in the sense of the paper, unfortunately, there's foxing on the paper itself. So I really don't know if that's reversible. It is visible. So I'm making it very clear. It's only on the front, unfortunately, nothing on the back. On the back, Frank S. Regal, dealer in pianos, organs, and sewing machines, phonographs, and records, Middleburg, Pennsylvania. She's got those leg of mutton sleeves, a female equestrian rider, lovely pair with her horse, inside a photograph image of a horseshoe as well on its original wooden stick. stapled into that, marking it from Middleburg, Pennsylvania. Again, basically, you got a vintage advertising piece as a fully functional paper fan. So I do see a couple bids that came in at $8, and then Fairweather brought it up to 10. And what I'm going to do is really quick. I'm going to go ahead and count it down. I really appreciate you guys bidding on this second time around. So we're going to do count down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. You'll see what the final count comes through. All right. And F Fairweather gets it for 10, the original $10. I saw the 12 come in, but that outbid yourself. So you get it for 10, and really appreciate you picking that one up. And thank you so much to Nancy, was adding more details on the tins. That's correct. It is not supposed to be a treasure chest. They're supposed to look like steamer trunks, which makes a lot of sense. So these were the steamer trunks. So a set of 3 tea tins, and then the 3 Life magazines from 1970, 1969, and 1962. So those were my items that had not sold. So if anyone wants anything else to be run, just let me know. Otherwise, we'll pass it to Scott, and he can run the items that he had not sold.
I think I'm going to put my last 2 items on eBay. We didn't have any interest in the Stooges, so I think that, and I've already got the photographs of that, so I think I'll just go ahead and pop that on there. And I just love anything old kitchen. I almost think I'm going to keep this now because I don't even have the Silex coffee pot to put on it, but we tried this earlier, didn't have any interest, so I may just go ahead and throw that on to the internet, or I might keep it and see if I can get myself one of those old glass coffee pots and use it that way. But someone is asking you about the Life magazines.
Okay, yeah, Life magazines. All 3 of them started at $10, and there was also a question about the tins. The tins, all 3 of the tins came together as starting at 15.
Yeah. Keep your eye on that for a second. Was there anything else you're going to run?
I'm just going to make a comment. Someone who has claimed something from me this evening is someone who has ghosted me in the past. So based on our conversation, sometimes the ghosting was unintentional. So I need to make sure anyone who is trying to claim something, you're sending me an email, because I am checking that, and I will not allocate that to you if I do not have your information before the sale ends. So just throwing that out there. so
if they have not emailed you, they need to do it right now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm not trying to call anyone specifically out. So that's why I'm not saying a name, but there is somebody here I will not sell to you right now unless that it gets resolved before the end of the sale. Right.
Okay. Then let's stick around for a minute. I am going to take like a 2-second. I just need to run and get a little bit more. My throat is bothering me a little bit. So I'm going to get a little bit more to drink. I'll be right back in about 2 minutes. That'll give Patrick another second to double check that email. And, then I'll come back and we'll chat for a little bit.
Yeah.
Patrick, if you can stay and chat with us, you can. If you need to run, that's okay. But
no, I'm good. And yes, so Flora Golden Girl, I did get your email. Thank you so much for that. And Roxanne, I just saw your email as well. So I appreciate you both stepping up and claiming that. Because you were not my concerns, but I do appreciate you confirming that. Adam, I think I have your information, but it wouldn't hurt if you could. I think you were trying to claim the. Adam, did you want the magazines, or maybe you were just asking about the price of the magazines? No, Trendolin was asking about the magazines. Florida Golden Girl was taking the tins for 15. I don't want to forget that. And that's great, Florida Golden Gold, because you had the other items. So shipping, they'll all go together. So you're spreading out the wealth on your shipping. And I'm sorry, Adam, I was thinking you were claiming something you were not. So forget that I just said that. You were not a concern, but oh my, hey, so Nate, Soul Nate's here.
Let me unplug this before I electrocute myself.
Oh, great, Philip. I'm glad you like the dresser scarves. Not sure. I'm not sure if I'm flattered or insulted that you confused me with Jeffrey, but we're good.
Let me have it.
All right. And yeah, Florida Gold. Wait, Florida Golden Gold. Didn't you ask for the? Yeah, Florida Golden Gold. You said you'll take the tins for $15. You've got a question mark that says the tins question mark. So let me make sure. Oh, there he said, "Thank you, sir." Okay, I'm reading text out of order, so that's always a bad idea. Okay, back to Scott.
Pardon?
Back to you.
Oh,
everyone is claimed and accounted for, and we are all good.
Oh, I'm not doing anything.
Well, you're back, so we can say hi.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm here. I'm just sitting here. Yeah, because the Stooges, I'll put that on the internet, and that little Silex coffee thing. I'll play with it for a while, and then probably stick it on the net. I don't think I've had that. I don't think I've had that before in a live sale. So, Patrick, what's next coming up? What's coming up on your channel?
Well, actually, I have a somewhat busy week because, on a side note, Raj is out of town this week, so I'm bored. So I'm actually doing a drop sale on Instagram. So for those that, or no, well, it's actually not. It's organized through Instagram. It'll be on my YouTube channel this Thursday, organized by Beth at Sweet Treats and Pretties, Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties. There'll be an entire evening of pre-recorded vintage drop sales. Mine will be an ephemera sale. So that my video will drop at 8 p.m. It's still a sale. It's just not live. So if you've never participated in the drop sales, you just watch the video, pause it. If you see something you want, claim it in the comments, and then watch the rest of the video. That will be this Thursday evening at 8 p.m. And then on her live channel on Beth's Carolina Princess Sweet Treats and Pretties, on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, I will be having a live sale with her for jewelry. So I had to pull that Maxine jewelry, was specifically chosen just for your audience tonight, Scott. But there will be some other great jewelry that will be part of a live sale on her channel on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. So actually, a couple things going on this week.
Fantastic.
And what about you?
Nothing until, well, I don't know. Nothing for maybe quite a while. Gosh, well, tomorrow I'll be invoicing and packing and doing this, that, and the third. I don't plan on doing any thrifting tomorrow. I'll probably get back out there on Wednesday and get back into posting thrifting related material. I was away for a few days and posted some non-thrifting types of videos. And I keep it all on one channel. I had asked the crowd before, should I do a separate channel? I said, no, just keep it all on one channel. And I figure people watch what they want to watch, what they're interested in. If they just like the thrifting videos, they can look at that. If they're not interested in the travel logs or the choir festival, then you can just skip over those videos. So shopping this week later. A week from tonight is the last Monday night in July, and I've not yet decided if I'm doing anything next Monday night. Normally I take it off.
You just need a break.
I might slip in a little mini Christmas in July. But it was fun to see Kevin and Carmen and Mary and Michael. 4 friends, old Curiosity Shop friends who made it over to Ocean Grove. It was fun to see them and spend a little bit of time with both of them. Thank you, everyone who enjoyed watching some of the concert videos. I appreciate that. And that's it.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you having me on again tonight, and always love to take. I love finding stuff and pulling stuff aside specifically for the Unbreakable sale, and kind of get used to then how easy. Although the last sale, I got so creative. Some of that stuff ended up being hard to ship. I had that 5 foot long stone rubbing that I had to figure out how to roll that and repack that. That was actually more expensive than I would have thought to ship.
Oh, that's right. You had to roll it.
Yeah.
To ship it.
Yeah, so I couldn't just like fold that up and put that in an envelope, but I hope it got to its home and in great condition and is going to be very lovely displayed. Most of this should ship pretty easily. So it is nice not having to ship crystal.
Yeah, I sometimes enjoy the break. No pun intended, the break from all the glass. Patrick, do you ever run across anything silent film related?
Silent film, not really. Now you say that. Here in Chicago, that wasn't a huge, we didn't have a huge industry for that here that I'm aware of. So I don't really stumble across any of that. I think that was more of a New York and then California thing. What I'm starting to look for, I keep seeing what's behind you, is I just got invited to become. So here's your quick trivia question, another trivia question for the evening. Do people know what a Foley artist is? I just got invited to become a Foley artist for a local theater group, and pausing slightly for letting people answer the question. Do you know, Scott?
No idea.
So because what the theater group does is going to give it away. It is a live theater production who perform radio shows. So not silent film, but in radio shows. And a Foley artist is the person who makes the sound effects. So when you hear a door opening on a radio show, it's the little person that has a little door. And then when you hear footsteps, it's somebody with shoes next to a microphone making the footsteps, gunshots, police sirens, all of that. It was done in the 30s and 40s, had to be created. And so there was a Foley artist. It's named after a guy named Jack Foley, who first kind of created it. Gets used in motion pictures as well. And so I am on the hunt for old Foley equipment that can be still utilized. So we don't have to use just recordings of wind or recordings of old cars and police sirens. I want to find some of that old stuff. So that's what I'm on the hunt for now.
That sounds like a challenge. Easy to make items in the style of, but to find original old sound effects equipment from that
it's
era.
still functional.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was very simple. Like, there's a show called, this is a tip for people that are interested in old stuff. There's a show called Remember When from the 90s, and it's Remember WENN, and it's about the WENN radio channel in Pittsburgh, happened to take place in Pittsburgh. And there's Mr. Foley is a character. He never speaks. And he does all. And so like a thunderstorm is a sheet of sheet metal rattle. Rain are marbles in the bottom of a galvanized enamel tin. So some of the stuff that they used was relatively rudimentary. So I'm rewatching that to get ideas, and you can find it for free. There's an app called Cineplex, or just called Plex, I guess. And all of the episodes are free. The app is free, and all those episodes are free. So I'm rewatching all of those. Remember When?
That's a great source.
Yeah, and it is. And it's and some of it, like he's got the crank to make the wind sound, or the crank to make the siren sound. Like, okay, those would be awesome to find. Those will probably be not functional anymore. But some of it's like, oh, okay, that's how you make rain. Okay, I can do that. Just trying to find those kind of creative ideas. Coconut shells for the horse. Absolutely, Joe. Anything you just think about when you listen to an old timey radio, you hear the sound effects, you take it for granted, but somebody had to be making all those sounds, and it wasn't computerized. So someone had to sit there and come up with them. And in some cases, wait, is that what a gorilla sounds like? They may not have known, but they did the best they could.
It is fun to watch old films of the men, and it was men who would be making all these sound effects and things sort of behind the radio show, behind Fred Allen and whoever else.
Yep.
It's fun to see.
Yeah. And that's
Okay,
what
well,
limited edition is.
I hope you find lots of those items. It sounds like that would be an interesting. How are you going to find them?
At this point, I started scouring eBay and with absolutely no solution. So I think what I need to do is find like the specific item that I want and then hunt for that. Because I think some people might have some of these items and not really know what they were originally designed for or how to list them. So like a search for Foley artist stuff did not come up with hardly anything. So it's just going to be a matter of, so we start picking the scripts next month and then I will start listening. So they always will pick a pre-recorded and actual radio program. So then I will listen to the original recording and figure like, okay, I need a gunshot. I need a fire alarm. I need a crying baby. I need whatever. And then I can sit there. They've got a closet full of stuff that they've already used and then figure out what I'm missing and then go for the hunt. But yeah, if anybody finds any of that kind of stuff, definitely let me know. Because I would be in the interest, particularly the vintage stuff. I'd love to find it.
Well, Carmen has asked me a question, and if you'll allow me to disappear for 10 seconds, I will.
Of course.
I promise.
It's your show. I can't really stop you.
And the answer to your question, Carmen, is no, I have not, but I've got to tell you how excited I am. I purchased 2 books at the wonderful Hub bookstore next to the Great Auditorium in Ocean Grove. And it's funny because I, as I was leaving the shore and headed back to drive back, I had to stop and get gas. And I'm sitting and in New Jersey, we don't get out of our cars. We don't pump our own gas. So I'm sitting there just with this, and the lady at the gas pump next to me, I happened to turn over and catch her windows were down. She said, "That must be an awfully good book. I've never seen anybody reading a book at the gas station." And I said, well, I can't wait to get inside of this. It is called Waxing the Gospel, Mass Evangelism and the Phonograph, 1890 to 1900. Now, what is so unbelievable is there are 3 CDs that come with this book. And I'll just tell you quickly as not to be boring. When you bought an Edison cylinder player in the 1890s, you could actually record on it. It was primitive, but you could record. Well, this guy carries in his phonograph to the Great Auditorium in Ocean Grove, which was built in 1894. And he's just making his own. It's like going in with a tape recorder or a cell phone and recording the concert. He's in there just making wax cylinder recordings. Well, by and by, time goes by, and these are discovered in an attic. And it took quite a bit of time to figure out, long story short, they figured out that this man, a dentist somewhere, recorded all of these cylinders in the 1890s into 1900 in the Great Auditorium in Ocean Grove. The only known recording of the voice of Fanny Crosby.
Oh, wow.
Recordings of Ira D. Sankey, Billy Sunday. I have not had a chance. So historic and so wonderful. And there's so much information in here too. I cannot wait. When I went in there and I told the lady that I'll take it, I didn't even look at the price. It weren't cheap, but it'll be well worth it for me. So I'm looking forward to getting into this and listening to some of those recordings. So thank you for letting me tell you about that. Weirdest thing about New Jersey is no pumping of gas.
Weird but wonderful.
Weird but wonderful.
And I will, as a sub note to that, so I just visited Scott recently, a month or 2 ago, and that was my experience. Like, I don't have to pump my own gas. I got gas, they pumped it for me, and I paid 60 cents less a gallon than I paid when I left home in Chicago. And I had to pump my own gas. So not only did somebody else pump it for me, it was 60 cents a gallon cheaper. And I was quite happy about that.
Yeah, it's a myth. Everybody thinks, oh, well, it's so much more expensive. No, it doesn't. No. Well, we've kept everybody long enough. So that was nice to hear everybody chit chat. Maybe I'll I don't know if I'm allowed to let you hear any of these. Maybe I can play a little snippet of I can't wait to hear the voice of Fanny Crosby.
I think if it's less than 20 seconds, it's considered fair use. So I think you're okay.
And I have to put for educational purposes
Right.
on there, something like that. Well, that's it. Okay, we'll see you when we see you.
Yep. Thanks again, Scott. Appreciate being here. Thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks for everyone who bid and not bid. Thanks for being here. It makes the evening go through lovely.
Okay,
thanks
excellent.
everybody.
Now I can push that little button.
Now you can. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.